Hello, welcome to Tarot Heaven. I am Laura Lajani, and we're going to talk about the Queen of Wands and what it's like when you get her in a reading. So, I love the Queen of Wands. She's that like fiery Aries type of woman that's active and always on the go. She can be like super beautiful, but also sporty. And, obviously you can be sporty and beautiful at the same time. But, she's definitely like a center of activity. If you get this card or this card represents you, you could have your own business. It's a very good card for a business manager or anyone with an entrepreneurial spirit, because the Queen of Wands, she just loves to solve problems. Sometimes reverse, she can start problems too, but she definitely loves to solve problems and get really active. She usually is very, very hands-on with her kids if she has kids, and the Queen of Wands usually likes kids. Like, she maybe like sign up for the PTA, and maybe she doesn't own her own business, but she's really active in her kids community. So doing a bake sale, though the Queen of Pentacles also maybe does a bake sale too, but the Queen of Wands is definitely a self-starter. So I love the lion representation from the Queen of Wands. It really harkens back to it's goddess worship. And a goddess cult is just it just refers to like worshiping a goddess during a particular period of time or a certain deity. So the Queen of Wands, could represent Hathor, the ancient Egyptian goddess of love and beauty. And she could be very charismatic and obviously full of love, but in her deepest, darkest moments, she turns into Sekhmet, the fierce lioness that can like ravage cities. And so there's all sorts of ancient lioness or lion mythology, and I've included that at tarotheaven.com. You can read up on that if you like, but there's like Sybil, which I think she's Greek, that the Greeks took from the Egyptians, so all of these gods and goddesses sort of get recycled. But if we look at the imagery on the card, we see the lion references, but the Queen of Wands sort of reminds me of like Cersei Lannister in the sense that she would probably threaten to burn cities if anyone messes with her children. So she's really fierce and loyal, loyal to her family, to her friends, to her children. So she's also got that sunflower there. And sunflowers, they follow the sun. So it's always like the sun is shining on her. She's a radiant type of woman. And I guess one could also say the sun will follow sunflowers. It's whichever perspective, you want to think about. So all court cards have an element to them. The queens are ruled by water, and the Queen of Wands, because she's a wand, she represents fire. So it's water of fire. And when you mix water and fire, you can get steam. So this type of person, the Queen of Wands, she can get really hot-headed sometimes. How when you're really upset or someone's upset and it's like they just see red or they're like blowing off steam. So that sort of explains that a little bit. But she can be a little catty, and you see the black cat in the photo, the picture. And so negatively, she can be like a little catty, a little prone to gossip. I wouldn't say she's the best person to tell all your secrets to. That would probably be the Queen of Pentacles. But Cats also represent witchy women or witchcraft in women. So, this could be a card that might represent, a woman who's involved in spirituality, New Age, Wicca, anything that involves like magic. The Queen of Wands is she's very adaptable. She's somebody that can go with the flow. She's got a lot of friends from a lot of walks of life. And if we look at the card, we can see that like one side of her throne is gray and the other side is yellow, and that maybe is indicating the adaptability. So if you're just asking like, how does someone feel about me, and you pull the Queen of Wands, they're enthusiastic. They like you, they want to make a go out of it. They feel like excited around you. They feel energetic around you. You bring out a zest for life that they're loving right now. Usually loves to travel because she's on the go type of girl. So you may find her spontaneously doing things. But the Queen of Wands as advice, just go for it. Do it. And if you've maybe been holding back saying something, and you're wondering when you should say it or how you should say it, just go ahead and say it. Just tell that person you love them, or ask your boss for that raise, or write that letter or make that phone call. It's definitely as advice. It's like, go for it. And it's, also advice like, just be optimistic. Try to be cheerful about things. Like, instead of the glass half empty, look at it half full. The Queen of Wands as an event would be parties, travel, a trip, and it's full of activities like, you're just not going to lay by the pool or the beach. It's going to be like a more like thought out activity, or a little thought out trip. As a predictive card, the Queen of Wands in a general reading sort of asks you to be bold, take that leap. It also, is suggesting that, make a list, check it twice. It could encourage you to maybe talk to your boss, ask for a raise. If it's a career reading, maybe, you just ask for the money, ask for the raise. And because it is known statistically that women get less raises because they don't ask. So the Queen of Wands is like encouraging you to like just take that leap of faith and ask your boss. It could just be encouraging you to get fit, to go exercise, to like join, some groups, soccer team, baseball team, whatever you're interested in. She can also be a crafty person. So like maybe you could do some crafts, or, encouraging you to maybe do crafts and you could sell them online on Etsy or something. The Queen of Wands in a general reading can also indicate, to get in touch with that tarot witchy side of yours. Like, hey, I want to do tarot readings online, or I want to do astrology online, or, sell little spell bottles or something. So it's encouraging you to perhaps do that if that's something that you've been thinking about. Also, the Queen of Wands as a person is like a huge multitasker. She can do a gazillion things at once, and she does them all pretty well. She's definitely the type of person that you want as a CEO, at the board member, on the board, because she's not afraid to take chances. She's not afraid to speak her mind. So, when you get this card, like, do it. Like, don't be afraid to speak your mind. Queen of Wands as a person is very optimistic. She's a great motivator. She can motivate people to do things, which is why she's a great manager. And again, like I said, she's adaptable. And in business, you need to be adaptable, and you need to, if something's not working or something's not selling, you need to take a step back and try to think of it from a different way. So the Queen of Wands is like definitely that like boss babe, CEO type of woman. The Golden Dawn puts the Queen of Wands as like a Pisces Aries, but I personally think when I see the Queen of Wands or any court card that's a wands, I just like to think of the fire signs. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, especially Leo, like she's like got lions all around her, you know. So and then when you get into tarot a little bit more, like you can assign your own astrological, you know, zodiac signs to things. It's, you know, all up to you how you want to interpret it. The Queen of Wands can also, you know, be an actress or a movie star, somebody that, you know, people take notice when she walks into the room. You know, I like to see kind of like the Queen of Wands may have like her midheaven in Leo, which is in astrology, it's like a radiant placement to have your midheaven. It's like the midheaven is where how people see you. So people would see her as like radiant and sunny and just, you know, I know we've all been, you know, at a party or somewhere or a restaurant and some beautiful woman walks in and there's just that je ne sais quoi. Like, what is it? Like she's got that. She's got that special something. And she may not be the most traditionally beautiful woman, but there's something magnetic about her. She's got magnetism. She can be really sexy too. So she could have like just some like Pamela Anderson style sex appeal. We think of like Pamela Anderson as like a Queen of Wands type, just like she's got the big blonde hair and she's very magnetic. She's not like the most beautiful person, but she's hot, right? If you're a man and you want to maybe date the Queen of Wands, like try to pick something spontaneous to do. Like she's the type of person that, you know, if you're like, I have tickets to go to like the Caribbean, she'll just jump on board and like, let's go. Like she won't have to think about it. She's like, loves to be active. So also saying that the Queen of Wands can be like a travel card as well. So if you're looking to travel and you get the Queen of Wands in a reading, it's a definite go. You should go travel, explore the world. The Queen of Wands definitely likes to throw parties. You know, she's the type of person that likes to organize people together. She could even be the life of a party, you know. And, you know, if she is a mother, she's gonna love to throw birthday parties like every year for her kids. And her parties are gonna be a lot of fun. Like she'll put in that A+ effort to make the party, you know, have like themes and activities and things to do. Because, you know, we all know like sometimes we go to a party and there's like just, you know, like food and wine, but then we go to some other parties and they're like themed and it's decorated really well and there's like some activities going on. For instance, I was having a Queen of Wands moment. So I threw my daughter a birthday party when she was first grade, and it was a face painting party. It wasn't even her birthday. I just threw a face painting party. So there was like lots of, you know, it was a themed thing, and a lot of the other moms stayed and we got to know each other, and, you know, I did some of their makeup and it was a lot of fun. So that would be a Queen of Wands type of party. If you get the Queen of Wands in a love or romance reading, expect things to happen really rapidly. There's a lot of energy tied to this card. You know, there's romance. The Queen of Wands is not a boring person. Like she always wants to be on the go. She's spontaneous. So when she does come up in a reading, like you may just like be swept off your feet, or, you know, there's going to be a lot of action going on, and maybe in the bedroom as well. The Queen of Wands, you know, some people consider it a very sexual card, and, you know, I agree with that to an extent. But, Yeah, it's that's the overwhelming consensus is that it can be a kind of sexual card. So maybe if you're already in a relationship and you get the Queen of Wands, maybe like spice up your love life a little bit. Like do something like, you know, throw rose petals all over the ground for her when she comes in, or him, or whatever. Or, you know, try something new behind closed doors. Um, you know, spice it up a little bit. Role play. The Queen of Wands is someone that could get into like role playing, you know, costumes, theater, drama. So maybe put on a wig or get some costumes, play doctor and nurse, you know, whatever. It's up to you.